What kind of year do you want in 2017? You know, a lot of us think it's a passive receiving of something, but it's not. It's an active participation, and we determine what kind of year we're going to have in 2017, to which end I'm going to share with you a cartoon, which if you could see it, shows a couple of characters here. One of them is planting flowers in the year 2017, and the other one says, "Why are you so optimistic about 2017? What do you think it will bring?" "I think it will bring flowers." "Yes? How come?" "Because I am planting flowers." Many of you went to the Burning Bowl. Many of you have done your 7-step work. Many of you have done a lot of preparation for your year 2017. Whether or not you've taken any outer steps, your attitude makes the difference for this year and what you're going to experience. And you're planting those flowers that you're going to experience in 2017. And this service is a flower planting service. So you're going to have an experience today of something new in 2017. You know, back about 15 years ago, I was in a church where I got a phone call after the White Stone ceremony from a woman who was a bookstore manager. And she said to me, "I got the strangest White Stone word. I got radical forgiveness." And I asked in meditation what that was about, and I should teach a class on radical forgiveness. Well, how many of you have ever heard of the book by Colin Tipping, Radical Forgiveness? Raise your hand. Well, it had just come out, and I'd just gotten something about it in the mail maybe a week before. So I said, "Oh, so you're going to teach Colin Tipping's book?" She said, "Who?" I said, "Colin Tipping." She said, "I've never heard of him." I said, "Well, where'd you get the name Radical Forgiveness?" "Like I said, in the White Stone ceremony." And I said, "You want to teach a class on radical forgiveness, but you don't know anything about this book?" "Yeah, that's right." I said, "Well, you'll probably want to read this book and and learn about it." She says, "Oh, no, I'm not going to read the book. I'm purposely going to teach the class without knowing what's in the book." And so she did. After she finished the class series, she went back and read the book and found out that every single thing that she taught in the class was in the book except for one thing, which was the ceremony that he created, which brought it all together. Then she called Colin Tipping in Nashville, Tennessee, and flew there, got trained as a certified radical forgiveness trainer, and spent the next several years going around the country teaching radical forgiveness. But she owned it first. She took an action step and she made it her own. Now, she didn't know what it meant. She didn't really understand it, but she knew there was something for her to do. You're going to receive a word, a phrase. You understand that when words come to you, when phrases come to you, they come from that something that is all around you, that is within you, and that is an innate part of you. You have the spiritual, intuitive guidance. That's a part of yourself. And as Lynn leads you through that exercise at the end of the service, your imagination will take over. And sometimes people discount their experience. They'll say, "Oh, it's my imagination," but that's all God's got to speak to you or through you. Your imagination is that spiritual language that God uses, that you will be communicated with, and you will receive something that will open you up. Whether that something comes to you right in the ceremony or some other time, you have the innate awareness, the intuitive awareness that will illuminate your next step on the journey. And sometimes that's all we see is the next step illuminated on our journey. Have you ever gotten guidance that was like there's a spotlight that's just ahead of you, and it's just enough light that you know where to step next, but you don't know where it's headed. You don't know the second, third, or fourth, or fifth steps, just the next step to take. I take my spiritual step. Together, I take my spiritual step. And so this White Stone experience is an illumination upon your journey where you're guided to take another spiritual step, where that spiritual step becomes part of your beingness. You know, this is all taken from the book of Revelations, and I love this quote. There's a lot in it. It's kind of deep stuff. Revelations is very deep stuff, being a visionary experience that's all symbolic. Whoever has ears, listen to what the Spirit is telling you. To the one who's overcoming, I will give some of that hidden manna, daily bread. I will also give that person a white stone with a new name written upon it, known only to the one who receives it. First of all, it's talking about overcoming, and we've all made overcomings. We've made overcomings whether it's something that's been positive in this past year or something that we've labeled as negative, but we've grown through it. So there's an overcoming that we've made, and when you make an overcoming, then you're fed spiritual energy. It's like it releases an energy that then can nourish you. And then it says that if you experience an overcoming, which we all have, you receive hidden manna. Well, manna was in the book of Exodus. Was that something, that daily bread that showed up on the ground that the children of Israel could eat, and it nourished them for 40 years. But it only lasted a day. So it really symbolizes the now moment experience of God that nourishes and sustains us, and that energization that comes forth as we are making our overcomings. We're fed each day. But then it says that you receive a white stone. What's a white stone? You've got one in your hand. You ponder on it for a second. It's blank. It's blank because it's open to all possibilities. It's your get out of jail free card. In those days, they understood that when they got out of prison or they were freed from slavery, they were given a white stone because they were given a new identity. They were allowed to come up with a new name, and it symbolized that new blank slate, that possibility, that new start. And today you're making a new start. And it says that new name that is written on it, that comes forth, is only known to the one who receives it. Well, it's going to come to you in that secret place in your heart. And the truth is that that name will not be necessarily a name like Bob or Sally or Jack. It'll be a name like a quality of life, a quality of heart. I remember when we were preparing to move here, we knew we were going to be moving in 2009, but somebody else was leading the ceremony, and I sat through two of them. So I got two white stones that kind of spoke to my ear to come. And the first one was merciful. And there was so much mercy that year, so much lifting me up and guiding our path here. And the second one was open possibility, open to a new possibility, so that there was be open to any and all circumstances. And that was really what happened. It was like letting go of all my pictures. Now for you, you're going to receive something that'll come to you. And you may not consciously understand what it means, but hold it close to your heart. It will become that watchword for this coming year. I always place my white stone next to my bed, and I look at it periodically, probably every day. And I see it in different perspectives. Sometimes I understand right off the beginning of the year what that means, and sometimes it is revealed as the year comes forth. But it requires my participation. And to talk to you about the White Stone ceremony and to share with you about your involvement with your spiritual growth through the White Stone, I want to invite Lynn to come up and lead you in this ceremony.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I invite you to place your white stone in your hand if it's not already. We're just going to let it hang out. Let it hang out in your vibe. Just get all that good mojo that you brought in with you today. So, we are here, whether it's 2017, 2016, even that year, or 2050 to 2100, whatever, we're here to grow spiritually. This is the only purpose that our souls are here. We've got our desires, we've got our goals, we've got the things that we're working towards. That's all fine, because that's all spiritual too. There's nothing outside of our spiritual growth. It's all part of us moving forward. But the more conscious we are about that truth, that we are here to grow spiritually, not for any other reason, the more we can cooperate with that, the more we can support ourselves in the difficulties that come up that belong to us, that are there for us to move through. Because if they didn't belong to us, we wouldn't have them in those situations in our lives, or those people in our lives, or, sometimes we try to take things on that don't belong to us, and that's a whole different story. That's some other talk. I'm not going to have that now. But those things that do belong to us, we can cooperate with. We can say, okay, this is here for my spiritual growth. What am I going to do with it? What am I going to do with it? When we do our white stone ceremony, the word that we receive, or the small phrase that we receive, is there to remind us that, hey, here's a year before you. You have an opportunity to grow. You have an opportunity to work through something. You have an opportunity to strengthen something in you that needs to be strengthened. Let go of something that needs to be released. Here's your opportunity to do it. And here is how the universe is supporting you for your year, for that spiritual growth that is available to you. When I first did the White Stone ceremony, we had just moved from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Overland Park, Kansas. And Greg had asked me, do you want to do this White Stone ceremony? I never heard of it before. So I kind of read up on it and did nothing for me at all. What? This doesn't even make sense. What is this? A stone for the year? I have to do Bible verses? What? But I said yes. And so I had to study up on it, both on the outside and on the inside, right? So that I could be able to present something. So I do this service. It was fine. I don't remember what I said. But the word that I received was friend. Now, we had just moved from a place where we were kind of isolated in New Mexico, even though we enjoyed living there, to a place where we had a built-in meditation spiritual family that we were finally going to be physically near. So I knew I had friends. I walked into a place where I've had more friends than I ever have in my life. So why I get this word friend? How disappointing. It's like, that's not flashy. I wanted like enlightenment or God realization or look at you, you go girl, or something. I don't know. But it was friend. See, this ceremony, I knew this ceremony was just like bogus, right? So I took that white stone, I'd written the word because I was smart enough to put down the first thing that came into my mind, even though I didn't like it. So I put it down, stuck it in my sock drawer. Forgot about it completely. No other thought about it whatsoever until the end of October of that year, when Greg comes to me and says, were you going to do the white stone ceremony again in January? I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, sure. So I go upstairs, and it's not like every time I open my sock drawer, I saw my white stone. I hope you put it in some place where you can see it more often. But it was buried in the bottom of my sock drawer, so I had to kind of dig around for it. So I pulled it out, and I'm like, friend? I don't really feel like I have close friends like I thought I would. Wow, that's really disappointing. And it's this white stone ceremony. It's not me. It's this white stone ceremony. It's just not a thing. It's really not a thing. So I'm, being annoying about it and thinking about it and thinking, well, people aren't calling me to go out for coffee or to go out for lunch or anything. What does this word friend mean? And I prayed about it, I meditated about it, because I had to stand up in front of people on the first Sunday of January and promote this concept of the white stone. How can I do that if I am very dissatisfied with what's going on for me about it? So I'm working on it, and it came to me that, well, Lynn, what have you done to develop those friendships? What have you done? Nobody's calling you to go out for coffee or to come over or visit or whatever. Have you invited anybody? No, I had not done one darn thing to back up that possibility that came to me for that year, which was the year 2000. Right? So I had to get to work. I had 2 months until the end of the year to do something about this. So I reached out more to those people in our spiritual family, and somebody was moving at that time, so I helped her move from one apartment to the other. There were a few of us who helped her move, and I just started sharing myself more. I started talking to people more. I started listening to people more. and grew into some beautiful friendships. And one in particular is one of my best friends to this day, and she's a musician also, and I shared with her about this white stone, and I told her, I said, you were kind of the fulfillment of this white stone for me, you know, because we were, in those 2 months, we got very close, and so she said, well, why don't I write a song about it? And so she wrote this song about the white stone and what it means, what it represents, and then that next white stone ceremony in that following January, she sang it during the service. So we were able to do that together. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. But I had to do something about that, right? So this concept, the possibility, the taste of what's to come for you in 2017 is just that. It's a possibility. But you will have a part to that too. You will need to do something to back that up. To do something to back that up. And that's always true. We can get these divine ideas, but we gotta put the legs and feet and hands and arms to the fruition of those concepts, of those divine ideas. Usually what we do during our white stone ceremony is we receive our word, and it's an intuitive thing. It's not a struggle. I got to figure it out with my brain. My brain has to work hard. Oh my gosh, I didn't have enough coffee today. I didn't get enough sleep today, and blah, blah, blah. My brain's not working. No. Your brain is not a part of this process at all. Just letting things be, letting it flow. Greg led a beautiful meditation for us this morning about letting that light just flow and enter us and be part of who we are. And all we have to do is just listen. Just listen. We don't have to worry about getting our word at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday, January 8th, 2017. Because it's there. It's a part of you. It's already a part of you. And if you don't ever get a word this entire year, your spiritual growth is still happening. It is still happening for you. So don't worry about it. This is not written in stone. This is just an opportunity to get in touch with that guidance. And you can do that 24/7. 365 days a year, you can do that. But just for today, we open and we listen and we take that first thing that comes, even if it doesn't make any sense to us, even if we don't like it, even if it's not sparkly enough. And we write it down. And that's usually where we end our white stone ceremony, right? But this year we're going to do something a little different. So on the front of the white stone, you're going to write your word or short phrase, like we always do. And you can see by the size of your stone, this is not a dissertation from God. This is just a simple word or phrase that comes through to you. And then on the other side, we're going to come up with one thing, one tiny little thing that we can do to back up that possibility that we receive. So we're going to back it up with our part. So when we have that white stone laying out somewhere we can see it, not in the sock drawer, and we see that word, and we're reminded of our possibility, then we can also be reminded of, oh yeah, what am I supposed to be doing about that? Let me flip it over. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh well gosh, I haven't been doing that for a month. I better get back to that. It's okay, we're human. But we get back to it. We get back to this supporting part of our spiritual growth. The action steps part of our spiritual growth. So for example, if I had thought of this 17 years ago when I did my first white stone ceremony, I got that word friend. Instead of sticking it in my sock drawer, I could have flipped it over and said, okay, so what am I willing to do? What am I committing to myself to do to back this up? Oh, reach out. Because the universe tells me, my soul that knows about my year tells me what my word is, but then I will tell my soul, I will tell myself what I will do to commit to the fruition of that. So maybe I would have written down, reach out, right? Because then I could have gone, oh yeah, there's that word that I'm not too enamored by. What am I supposed to be doing? Reach out. Maybe it wouldn't have taken me almost 11 months to figure that out if I'd known that at the time. So we're adding a little flavor to this. We're adding a little piece to this year because it will help us. It will help us. We have to do our part. And we're backed up. I love that piece in Revelations that our White Stone Ceremony is based on. For those who overcome, they will receive hidden manna. And what is that? When we do our part, we are backed up. We are backed up by the universe, supported by the universe, given that extra energy, that extra oomph. Even when we feel like, oh my gosh, I have nothing left to give. But if we take that next step, after we decide I've got nothing left to give, and we take that next step anyway, the floodgates open. The floodgates open, we're supported, we're backed up, we're shifted just a little bit. So that thing that we might feel like we were struggling with, all of a sudden is not in our lives anymore. Or all of a sudden our perspective changes and it's not so difficult, or something, there's a consciousness shift and things happen. But they don't happen without us doing our part. They don't happen without us committing to taking action on that guidance that we receive. And that's not just true for the White Stone Ceremony, that's true every day of our lives. And you know you receive a little bit of guidance every day of your life. And if you're not asking hard enough for it, right? Or often enough. But then we get that guidance and we take our step. We take our step. 2017 is a year of action. I just declared that, so it must be true. But for sure it is for us, because it's always about action. It's always about supporting our spiritual growth. So take that white stone. And again, this isn't about forcing anything. So if it doesn't come, let it be. It will come. And we open our minds, our hearts. And actually, we just let our minds go right now. Just feeling that flow of light and love and energy moving in and through us. It always is. We're just being extra aware of it right now. And we say, thank you, God, thank you. We are open and receptive to our new possibility in 2017. And we commit already in advance to doing our part, to help that possibility manifest and be fulfilled in us and through us, in our lives. Blessing not just us, but all the people around us. We are open. We are open. That support is right here. We listen. For a few moments, we listen. And if you feel that you have received your white stone possibility for 2017, Go ahead and write it down in pencil. The pens don't work on the stone. Write it down. And if you haven't, again, don't worry about it. It's there. It's there. And ask, every time you think about it, ask, what's my white stone word? Sometimes it's that thing we don't want it to be. Sometimes it's that thing we know we need to be doing and we just aren't excited about doing it. That's all part of our spiritual growth too. And after you've written your word of possibility down, flip over your title, and on the back, write a word or a very short phrase of your commitment to the fulfillment of that word. What is your part that you are promising only yourself that you will do to support that, to support yourself, your movement? And if you didn't receive the word yet, flip it over and write down your commitment to yourself anyway. Because sometimes we have to take action before we get our answer. So what action are you willing to do to support your awakening this year? What's one tiny little thing? You don't have to move a mountain, you don't have to split water, just one tiny little thing. One thing that you commit to do to support your spiritual growth in 2017. And that commitment is more important than any white stone word you'd ever receive anyway. The universe supplies the possibility. We supply the action. So we say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you to that universal energy, that intelligence, love, wisdom, strength, power that we are one with. It is not somewhere far away, but we are swimming in it. We are breathing in it. We are breathing it. And thank you, thank you, thank you for blessing this 2017 for everyone on this planet. Thank you for supporting us in our spiritual awakening to what's really important. And we will back ourselves up. And when we fall down, and we will, probably many times in 2017, we will get ourselves right back up and get on it. And that is our commitment with equal power and strength, returning to that universal soul connection from which our white stone possibility comes. We put right back into that our commitment. And we say, thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Amen.
And let's just begin by acknowledging that each one of us has an innate intuitive awareness. It's a natural part of us. It's just a part of us like our arms and our legs and our hands and our feet. And maybe we don't use it every day, but now we're going to become aware of it. Now we're going to gain use of our wonderful intuitive guidance. So I'm going to invite you to breathe in slowly. Let your breath out slowly. And I want you to take that white stone that you were given as you came in this morning into your hands. And just have that in your hand and, in a sense, let it be energized by the spiritual harmony, the light, the support, and the energy of the intuitive guidance from this living Spirit of truth. And take another deep breath, and as you breathe out, just let go into the care and keeping of that intuitive guidance that is within your soul. Silently we affirm, I am now open and receptive to my intuitive guidance from God's living Spirit of truth. I am now open and receptive to my intuitive guidance from God's living Spirit of truth. And now, playfully and joyfully, open your heart and your mind to your intuition. Often it helps to do a visualization of white light coming down from above and entering the top of your head and filling your body with light and energy, recharging every cell of your physical body, enlivening all the life centers there. When your mind wanders, just imagine this light growing stronger and stronger and filling your body. This raises your vibration and your energy and opens your heart and your mind. And now imagine that this light is coming in and uplifting your feeling nature, your emotions, clearing away all the cobwebs and clouds and making you a bright light of good feeling energy. I am now open and receptive to my intuitive guidance. As this light comes in, it shines forth as good feelings, positive emotions, upliftment, and energy. And now imagine this light coming in from above, entering your head and lifting up your mind, your thoughts. Your thoughts are God thoughts. The Spirit of God only speaks to each one of us through our imaginations. Become aware of your mind clearing, your emotions becoming lighter, and your body tingling with divine energy as this light comes in from above. Take a moment with this. I am now open and receptive to my intuitive guidance from God's living Spirit of truth. I have a playful, joyful, open heart. My mind is receptive. I am at peace. And so it is. Amen. Here, and this is our time of giving. We're going to place our anticipation for a new year into our gifts. So I give in anticipation of my new year, and I receive abundantly. Together. I give in anticipation of my new year, and I receive abundantly. And silently. And again aloud together. I give in anticipation of my new year, and I receive abundantly, and so it is. Amen.